Hello everyone. From watching this video, you will get a full understanding of how the new flame weapons and the fire wyvern's breath attack do damage. So let's get right into it. The flame arrows, flamethrowers, and fire wyverns have two parts to their attack. The first part is the direct hit, and this is when the attack from one of these sources actually hits the target, like a bullet from a gun would. A flame arrow will directly hit the target only once per reload, while the flamethrower and the fire wyvern will do a bunch of fast rapid direct hits, like a machine gun. The melee multiplier on fire wyverns and the damage multiplier on crossbows and flamethrowers increases this direct hit damage. The base damage of a flame arrow is 55, so when being shot out of a 100% damage multiplier crossbow, it will do 55 direct hit damage, and any crossbow crafted from a higher quality BP will increase that damage. Flamethrowers are the same with the base damage of 3 per hit, and a fire wyvern has a base damage of 26. The flame arrow can headshot, but it can be a little buggy, and the flamethrower and the fire wyvern cannot headshot. The direct damage of all of these attacks are reduced by armor and other sources of damage reduction. Lastly, when any of these attacks direct hit, they will apply a status effect, and this is the second part of the attack. The status effect is called Enflamed, and it lasts for 6 seconds and the victim appears to be on fire. During that time, it will tick damage once every second, so 6 hits total, and if you're hit by the attack from a flame arrow, flamethrower, or fire wyvern again during that time, it will refresh the timer. The damage that is done once a second is equal to 8% of the target's max health. The damage from the Enflamed status effect ignores armor of saddles and player armor, such as flak or hide, but there are caps to this damage. The minimum amount of damage that can be done is 12, and the maximum damage is 100, so any target 150 health or below will take the 12 damage per tick every time, and any target 1250 health or above will only take 100 damage maximum. Any target between the 150 and 1250 health will then take the damage equal to 8% of their max health, as I said before. Both the crossbow and the flamethrower do not stack inflamed effects. If you direct hit someone with a flamethrower and then someone else hits them with a flame arrow, it will just refresh the inflamed status effect timer. Also, the damage percent on the crossbow or the flamethrower do not affect the damage of the inflamed status effect, and same with the melee percent on a fire wyvern. So everything I just said is exactly how the flame arrow and the flamethrower work, but the fire wyvern's inflamed status effect works a little differently. It still does damage equal to 8% of the target's max health, and the minimum damage is 12, but it starts to differ from the weapon status effect from here on. First, even though the inflamed timer lasts for 6 seconds, visually, it actually will hit 3 more times after the timer is over. So it seems to last like 9 seconds and not 6, and its max damage isn't 100, it is 75. So since the fire wyvern's inflamed status effect works differently, you're actually able to apply the fire wyvern's inflamed status effect and one of the weapon's inflamed status effects at the same time. So that means if you hit someone with a flamethrower and a fire wyvern, it will actually do 120% of their max health in the tick damage, and then also do the direct damage from the attacks, which is pretty disgusting. So how do you counter the inflamed status effect? When it comes to tames, they have such high health that inflamed isn't as scary as being inflamed as a player, since the damage caps at 100, and on top of that, tames have a lot of sources of damage reduction. Enflamed bypasses armor damage reduction, but all other sources such as mate boost, imprint, UD roar, and the stego hardened defensive plates will decrease the damage of the inflamed status effect. On top of that, herbivores seem to have their own innate damage reduction to the inflamed status effect. Brontos have a 20% damage reduction, while all other herbivores seem to have a 60% innate damage reduction to the inflamed status effect. So a stego with more than 1250 health won't take 100 damage per tick of inflamed status effect damage. It will first reduce the damage by 60% for being a herbivore, making it take 40 damage, and if they are using the hardened defensive plates, which they almost always are, that gives another 50% damage reduction, so the stego will then take 20 damage per tick. But as a player, what should you do?
When asked by those seeking advice, Isaiah responded simply with a phrase which would soon become a mantra: "Don't get hit."
Yeah, that's easier said than done. It's no secret that flamethrowers are very strong. The only thing that stops the effect is swimming in water or being in the rain, and I see this myth a lot, so I don't know if this used to work, but as of now, antidotes, wyvern milk, and ice canteens do not do fuck to stop the inflamed status effect. The only notable consumable for countering the inflamed status effect is drinking a beer to take 40% less damage and using med brews, so you heal 40 health over 5 seconds. The more health you have, the less effective med brews are at countering the damage, since they heal a flat amount, while the inflamed status effect does percent damage. Also, drinking the beer will stam you out, so you'll have to quickly leave the fight or use energy brews, otherwise you'll become a sitting duck. And also, eating a focal chili will give you 50% more movement speed to run away from the flame bobs.
Looking for the love.
You've accomplished what few have. You've ascended